welcome back to week 5 of building Erebor and Lego. Hope everyone is doing good today. I want to get straight into it by showing you guys everything that I've been able to accomplish this week. There's been a lot that I've been able to get done, especially concerning the river. As you guys know, I did get in a pretty crucial Bricklink haul, and I was able to do a lot of the river, as I just said, as well as some pretty good work on Dale itself, which I will show coming up in this video. Alright guys, so kicking this week's video off is going to be an overhead shot, and you guys can see that there has been a good amount of progress that has been done, and you've probably seen most of it right in front of you, and that's going to have to be the river. Now, I did get that Lego order in this week, and I was able to put all those pieces to good use, and I think the results are spectacular. The river looks better than I could have ever imagined. Now, obviously, it is not finished. Even this part that has been wedged off over here isn't finished, but it was more like experimentation. I'm waiting for more Bricklink orders to come in. Those will come during the next few weeks. Not sure exactly when, but definitely those pieces will be coming in. But for the most part, this week, the river is more outlining using the tiles. And I think the size and proportion in comparison to everything else looks really good. I think the decision to put it on white plates was really good because it makes the water look much more clearer than it would have done if, for example, I had used a darker color, such as this little swamp area right there, which I did use dark green for. Here's a closer look at what the river looks like. I think it looks, like I've said about a million times, I'm really happy with the results. I think it turned out better than I imagined, especially during those first few weeks when I was kind of like judging what kind of technique I wanted to use for my water. I was debating on the tiles versus just using 1x1 studs and pouring them out. I think it was the right decision to go with these tiles. I just cannot express how good I think it looks. I even went the extra mile and tried to offset every tile so it looked like the river had some sort of motion. Now, one of the harder things trying to get to this was doing that kind of curve in the river. It was a little hard because, you know, Lego doesn't work on a diagonal. It's only at right angles, so trying to make it look like the river was curving while still not needing to require too many parts or anything was a little bit of a challenge, but I think I pulled it off nice. Basically, I kind of just, as you can see here, go up one, I put one there, go up one, put one there, so it's really self-explanatory on how that works, but you can see how 1, 1, 1, 1, and it just goes backwards 1 on both sides, and it gives that nice diagonal shape to it. So, another thing that I focused on this week is going to be Dale. And I think it's really coming together. The buildings are finally taking shape. Dale has a certain presence to it now, especially that center building, which I've pretty much built to its fullest height. I've even experimented with doing different roof techniques, as you will see in a little bit. I've also put a new building, which is going to be that one right there, which you haven't seen before. It was more of a filler because I felt the whole interior looked a bit bland and it didn't have as much of a presence to it. It felt a little bit empty, so I thought, you know what, let's put one more building. It's not going to have an interior or anything per se, but it's more, like I said, to fill up the space, which I think it's doing well. As you can see, also that building right there has finally taken root, and I've rebuilt it, as well as redoing the interior so it fits this space a little bit more. So let me take you on the inside so you guys can get a better look. Okay, so here's a better look on the inside of this further right portion where I have finished the first staircase, which I think turned out very well because it's obviously not supposed to be a main focus, but more just something to make Dale feel more complete because there are 2 different levels and some way to connect them. And also you guys have not seen those 2 different levels yet, so here they are. So here's the first level that stretches over here, and then the second level comes here and curves around over to this corner back there, which I'll show you from another angle. But if we just stick back over here for a little bit, you'll see I'm trying to put as much detail as I can in terms of the flooring. I'm trying to do a bunch of random tiles and plates to make it look a little bit rough and worn, a little bit like the path that leads up to it. I also threw in a few slopes and cheese slopes in to make it look old and, you know, maybe a little bit cruddy in some areas. Also throwing in things like a bench, which makes it feel more like a village or a city as a whole. Over here on this building, which has been destroyed in the previous video, as you guys possibly remember, it has been rebuilt. It looks pretty much the exact same thing as it did before. In terms of the interior, let me see if I can get into it. Alright, here it is. This might be a little shaky, I apologize for that. So there it is. It's going to be the same kind of layout. Sorry, you can't really see the nightstand over there, but there is a nightstand as well as the bed and the same window, which turned out to be a little bit smaller, but I think I'm fine with that because this is an interior, and when people look at the mock as a whole, they're not going to really look into it, but when they do, I just want it to make it feel like it's complete without needing to spend too much time on it. So here is a good angle of what Dale looks like at the current moment. You can see that little area over there behind this building right here is going to be that area we were just talking about. But for the most part, that's what that building looks like. I was really playing around with making something that had a little bit of a unique shape to it. But that fit the space nicely, which I think I achieved in a good enough way. This roof here on the main building, obviously actually before we get to the roof, we should get to the second floor, which is exactly the same as the floor below it. Pretty much exact same shape. It's just supposed to be a repetition, making it look taller in a way. But I think the main focus is the roof, which I have experimented with. And I think it turned out pretty decent for the first try. I quite like the curve to it, because it is supposed to be a little bit of a dome. However, I think I'm going to have to go back and try and make it feel a little bit more curved, because right now, if you look at it from this angle, it looks very angular right there. I think it should feel more going up like that instead, but maybe you guys have different views, but I think that's what mine is. I think I need to go back into that, try and figure something out. I think getting towards about right here, instead of going up just one, I think I would go up two. So up two, up two, up two, and then eventually going to just one. So high and then kind of leveling off near the top, which I think will make it look better. But let me know what you guys think of this. This is the second floor interior with the window that just fell off. There's the second building, also does not have an interior at the moment, but eventually it might. I'm not quite sure. But like I said, these are not going to be the main focuses. The main focus will be the outside, but hopefully if I have time and I feel like it's necessary, I will go back and do interiors before the mock is considered completed. So actually quite a lot to talk about right here, even though it doesn't look it. I've done quite a lot of remapping in terms of where I want everything to go, the general shape and size of the facade, as well as the levels of the ground, which will be completed more finalized in a way, so it won't just be normal angular slopes and things. It will be a mix of wedges, slopes, bricks, in order to get it going from this level down here at the base plate near the river up to this level where it begins the facade. Now the path does go here and there will be a bridge. The bridge will come after I finish putting on the plates. The plates will hopefully come on next week, so considering, you know, maybe next week it's going to be focusing on the plates going on and finalizing the shape of the river in general, then the following week would most likely going to be the little details, you know, putting the bridge, adding more detail to the terrain, and then focusing on the inside, of course. So, talking about the inside, I'm not sure if I explained this last week, but this is going to be the general design for the arches. Sorry, not arches, for the pillars, of which arches will go on top. They will come to here and where those bricks finish off on the other side, and then this space of, I would say, about 20 bricks. It's 20 studs, maybe a little bit more, will be rock going up all the way to this height. So that's going to be a lot of rock work. So as you can see, I spent quite a lot of time on playing around with tile work in order to make this place feel a little bit more ornate on the inside, which is why you guys can also see quite a bit of accents of gold and sand green plates and tiles, more as a trim to the light bluish gray tiles which run throughout as the primary groundwork. Now, you can see in the middle I have got that diagonal tile design, which I absolutely love. I think it turned out really, really good, just like a lot of other features in the mock, if not even better. I didn't know exactly how that was going to look like beforehand, of course, because it's a very specific technique and it can really only turn out a specific way. So I knew how that was going to turn out, but I've never built it before, and to see it before me in a mock that is hopefully going to be really cool is just really astounding for me. I also try to frame it off as best I could. It's really much harder than you guys think because of how it works. If I take these off here, hopefully you'll be able to see it. There are certain sizes of gaps that go in between all these tiles. And in order to cover those up while also making it feel seamless was quite hard. And I didn't want all the edges to be very flat because it looked really weird, in my opinion, that this center area was indented. And I just felt like it didn't match. So I think by offsetting these tiles a bit like I did for the river, I think it framed it off well. So let me know what you guys think about that. Also, you can see a little bit better the trimming around it. I'm planning on putting poles on these about, that high waist level for a minifigure, and that's going to be a railing that goes across. And then here, let me give you a little bit of a better look at this staircase feature that I have. I think it turned out really, really nice. Now, as I spoke before in one of my earlier videos, Erebor does not have any railings on the stairs, which is, completely normal nowadays. But I wanted to capture that as best I could, and I think I did. Most of it is movie accurate in terms of the shape. There's a long part and then the stairs going up with no railing. But I wanted to play around here with the tiling on the side in order just to give it a little bit more detail. So hopefully everyone enjoyed week 5 of building Erebor. I know I certainly did. Hopefully it's enough detail and work in terms of progress over this week to fulfill your needs, because I know it's not going to be one of the biggest updates throughout the series, but it's definitely important for me, especially in terms of the river. I can finally see Dale being a little bit built up. I'm experimenting with different tile techniques inside Erebor. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Please make sure to comment down below on what you guys liked, any ideas you have. Give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll catch you in week 6.